In the heart of New York City, Detective John Marlowe sipped his morning coffee, the steam fogging up his glasses. The phone rang, shattering the silence of his cluttered office. "Detective Marlowe," a frantic voice spoke on the other end. "My name is Clara Hudson. My husband, Richard, he's missing." Clara's words echoed in Marlowe's mind as he drove to the Hudson residence, a lavish apartment overlooking Central Park. Something felt off about this case. At the apartment, Clara, a woman in her mid-30s with worry etched on her face, greeted him. "He didn't come home last night," she explained, handing Marlowe a photo of Richard. Richard Hudson, a well-known businessman, had his fair share of enemies. Marlowe pondered this as he examined the apartment. No signs of struggle, but Richard's phone and wallet were gone. "He was acting strangely the past few weeks," Clara said, wringing her hands. "I thought it was just stress from work." Marlowe visited Richard's office next. His colleagues described him as dedicated but distant lately. His computer revealed frequent visits to a mysterious address in Brooklyn. The address led to an old warehouse. Marlowe felt a chill as he entered. The place reeked of abandonment, yet something felt unsettlingly alive about it. In the warehouse, Marlowe discovered a hidden room. Inside, documents scattered everywhere, photos of Richard meeting with known criminals, and a map with several locations marked. The plot thickened. Richard was involved in something dangerous. But what? And more. Marlowe's investigation took him to the underbelly of New York. Informants whispered of a high-stakes deal going wrong, and Richard being in the center of it. Night fell as Marlowe staked out one of the marked locations on the map. A dilapidated building in a shady part of town. Lights flickered inside. Suddenly, a car screeched to a halt outside the building. Two men, their faces obscured, dragged a third man inside. Marlowe's gut told him it was Richard. He called for backup and entered the building, gun drawn. The air was thick with tension. Voices echoed from the basement. In the basement, Marlowe found Richard bound and gagged, with the two men arguing over him. A deal had gone south, and Richard was the collateral. A tense standoff ensued. Marlowe managed to free Richard while the assailants were distracted. Gunshots echoed as they made their escape. Back at the station, Richard confessed to being involved in illegal activities. He was trying to get out, but his associates wouldn't let him. Marlowe pieced the puzzle together. Richard's dealings had attracted dangerous attention, and his attempt to escape the criminal world had nearly cost him his life. Clara was shocked to learn of her husband's double life. "I never knew." She sobbed. "I just never knew." The case was closed, but Marlowe couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. The city's dark underbelly had revealed itself once again. Days turned into weeks, and the Hudson case faded into memory. But Marlowe couldn't let go. He kept digging, convinced there was more to the story. His hunch led him back to the warehouse. Amidst the clutter, he found a hidden compartment containing a flash drive. What secrets did it hold? The drive was encrypted, but Marlowe's contact in the cybercrime unit cracked it. It contained financial records linking Richard to a major crime syndicate. Marlowe confronted Richard, who finally broke down. "It was supposed to be a one-time thing," he admitted, "but I got pulled in deeper." The syndicate's reach was far, entangling politicians, law enforcement, and businessmen. Marlowe realized this case was bigger than he imagined. With each step, the danger escalated. Marlowe's apartment was broken into, a warning to back off. He knew he was getting closer to the truth. Marlowe's investigation led him to a high-ranking official involved in the syndicate. Confronting him was risky but necessary. The official, smug and untouchable, scoffed at Marlowe's accusations. "You have no idea what you're dealing with," he sneered. Undeterred, Marlowe gathered evidence, connecting the dots between the syndicate's activities and the official's involvement. The breakthrough came when an insider, fearing for their life, approached Marlowe with definitive proof against the syndicate and the official. Armed with the evidence, Marlowe went to the press. The story exploded, sending shockwaves through the city. The official was arrested and the syndicate's operations were exposed. But the victory was bittersweet. The city's corruption ran deep, and this was just the tip of the iceberg. Marlowe visited Clara, who had moved on from the ordeal. "You did the right thing," she told him. "Richard's in a better place now." The case had taken its toll on Marlowe. He pondered retirement, weary of the endless cycle of crime and corruption. As he walked the busy streets of New York, he reflected on his career. Had he made a difference? Or was he just a cog in a broken system? The city's skyline glowed in the twilight. Marlowe felt a sense of belonging to this chaotic, vibrant metropolis. A young detective approached him one evening. "Sir, I've heard a lot about you. Would you mentor?" Marlowe saw his younger self in the eager eyes of the young detective. He nodded, a smile creeping onto his face. "All right, kid. Let's see what you've got." Together, they delved into the city's mysteries, Marlowe passing on his wisdom and experience. As Marlowe watched the new generation rise, he knew the fight against crime would continue. And he would be there, guiding them, a guardian of the city's soul.